Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the road to 2000. So I've got another game today. On this game, I was playing as white, and my opponent was playing as black. On this game, I kind of missed a lot of things. I was playing. I was at an advantage, so I missed a lot of things. I guess the hardest games to win is the one that you have an advantage. I see that's why most people say that. So let's get into it and see what happened. On this game, I started with a bad opening, f4. Then my opponent responded with a queen's pawn opening. This gives options to a couple of openings like the lantern system and more, but let's see what my opponent would have played. Then I continued with my opponent playing knight to f3. Then my opponent played the kind of a queen's gambit, but there's no center pawn on my side, so I don't think this is a queen's gambit. Then I played pawn to e3. And then my opponent played knight to c6. Then I played bishop to b5. This is kind of a dash variation of the bed's opening. Then my opponent responded with bishop to d7. Then I played pawn to d4. This is where the game kind of picked up, but doesn't really pick up that fast. But this is where the game actually takes direction. After my opponent played queen to a5 with a check, then I have to block with a knight, of course, to c3, and also protecting the bishop at the same time. Then my opponent took the pawn in the center. Then now I had to move my bishop or move my knight, one of the two, but they are both in danger. But then I played bishop to c6, taking the knight. I saw it as the best move, but I think the best move was to take with this knight here, but that's also inaccurate, so not really sure. Let me continue. After I took them, opponent made the mistake taking my knight, and then I just took back the bishop. Then my opponent took with the king, of course, is because it's a check. Then I castled, but the best move here was to play pawn to b4. It looks like sacrificing the pawn, but actually it's the best move, because after the queen takes here, my queen can take the center pawn there with the check, and then the game can pick up from there. So I think this was also wasn't really a miss, it was just an inaccuracy. And after that, my opponent took the pawn there, and I took back with my bishop. Then my opponent made another blunder, playing queen to b6. Then I played the best move, of course, because there was a free pawn in the center. Then I just took it. I think my opponent was trying to attack my bishop, but forgot that there was a check thread there. And after that, I played bishop to d4 because I was more worried about my bishop than looking at an advantage that I have in the game. This is the first miss that I made. The best move here was to play knight to e5, because this allows a checkmate, or this gives me an advantage to play checkmate. Then my opponent had to respond, of course. Then the best move for my opponent is to attack the queen, but most people will probably play here, protecting this checkmate threat, but this does nothing, because there's also this checkmate. So probably everyone would have seen this, playing bishop knight to f6, because after this the king can actually move, and that's the only move that the king has. So that's why that was the best move. Then after this, I'll probably play knight rook to f1 with a check. Then the king will probably move here. Then that's a miss. Or I'll probably play queen to c4, I guess. But this didn't happen, so I won't dwell much into it. So I'll go back where I actually missed the move. Here, I missed this move, the move that I was explaining earlier, or now that I was explaining now. Then after this, my opponent had to move the queen because the queen is under attack. Then my opponent made the mistake playing queen to c7. Then I played the best move, knight to e5. Then my opponent played the best move also, pawn to e6, attacking the queen. Then I played the best move again, queen to b5 with a check. Then my opponent played king to e7. Then I played best move, bishop to c5. I was actually on a streak of playing best move, but I actually lose it after, I think after this move, after this best move here, knight to g4 check. Then after the king move to g6, I made this mistake. It's not a mistake, it's a miss, because the best move here is to, it's an inaccuracy and also a miss, I guess. The best move here is to play bishop to b6, because if the queen captures the bishop, it's checkmate here. So that's why that's the best move. And if my opponent tries to protect the checkmate threat here, I'll win the queen. So that's why that was the best move there. So I missed that. This is my second miss, I think. I think I made like 4 misses where I should have wrapped up the game. But let's continue. After I played queen to d3, my opponent played pawn to f5. Then I played my knight to e5 with a check. Then my opponent went to h6, but the best move was to maybe play here. You shouldn't like go to the corner because you're under attack, and you shouldn't trap your king. So the best move was to go back to where there are open squares, but my opponent went to the end of the board. Then I just played my rook to f3, threatening checkmate. Then my bishop is no longer under threat because there's a checkmate threat. Then my opponent played, I think, the only move that prevents the checkmate, pawn to g6. But I think the best moves in this position, I'm not really sure. Like knight here is also a best move, it's not that bad. But let's continue. No, let not me get into that much. Oh, where was I? Was here. Like, let's continue. Then I moved my bishop to g6. Then my opponent played knight to f6. I think this is the third miss that I missed. Playing my rook to h3. The best move here was to play knight to d7. If the knight is captured, then I play bishop to h6, and I'm actually threatening a checkmate and also taking the rook. So it's mate in 6, I guess. So my opponent will have to protect this mate. So I'm not really sure what was the protection here. Let me see. Playing king, it's inaccurate because that allows checkmate in 2. Oh, playing pawn to g5 is the best move in this position, because after it's captured, the king can move here. So that was the best, but I missed that move, of course. Let's continue. I think now we're going to my last miss. Yes, I think that was my last miss. After I played rook to h3, then the king played to g7, then I played pawn to g5, then my opponent captures, then I played this brilliant move, rook to h7. So the idea was playing of sacrificing this pawn here. At first, when I sacrificed this pawn, I was thinking of capturing with the knight, which is the best move, but it's a brilliant move, of course. So that was the idea, but I saw the brilliant move here of sacrificing my rook. At the time, I wasn't sure it was a brilliant move, but now the computer says it's a brilliant move. So I played this brilliant move, rook to h7 with a check. Then my opponent captures, then I played queen to g6 with a check. Then I captured that free knight there. Then my opponent made another blunder. Then I played the best move, capturing that free pawn. Then my opponent played rook to a6, the best move. Then I just played my knight to f7 with a check. Then my opponent played king to h7. Yes, on this position. Then I think I played queen to f5. Then the king has to move, of course. And the only spaces for the king is to move near the rook, I think the knight there, sorry, the knight. And then the queen is actually vulnerable. So after this, my opponent actually resigned because the game was over in this position. I was actually winning, so there was nothing my opponent could really do. So that's how the game actually played out. I had 4 misses. I could have wrapped up the game earlier in the game, but I prolonged the game. But if I had lost this game, I would have hated myself, of course. But I didn't lose it, so I guess that's good. So that's how the game played out. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell, like, comment, and share. And until we meet on the next one, bye bye.